Discover 3 incredible Egyptian myths that will transform your nighttime routine forever. Sarah felt at the moment she walked into the thrift store the weight of exhaustion pressing down on her shoulders. The flickering overhead lights felt like they were dimming her spirit. As a single mother juggling long barista shifts and late-night cleaning jobs, she was always running on empty. Today was no exception. While scouring the aisles for a cheap gift for Mia, her 9-year-old daughter, who thrived on creativity and chaos, something caught her eye. An old, dusty book on Egyptian mythology lay tucked between knickknacks and forgotten treasures. Its worn cover was a gateway to magic and mystery, just the spark she hoped to ignite in their nighttime routine. With a whim fueled by hope, she bought the book and rushed home. That evening, as they settled down on their tiny living room floor, the world outside faded into a distant hum. Sarah read the tales aloud, and Mia's eyes widened with every turn of the page. Together, they ventured into realms filled with gods who transformed into creatures of wonder, all while sharing giggles and gasps. The air around them pulsed with a new energy. Gone were the nights spent scrolling through lifeless screens. They filled their small home with vibrant storytelling, laughter, and the echoes of ancient wisdom. But with that newfound joy came an unsettling weight. As the stories unfolded, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that the ideals of families depicted in those age-old myths clashed sharply with her reality. The laughter faded into whispers of insecurity. Was she doing enough as a mother? The chatter of their suburban neighborhood, often laced with judgment, crept into her thoughts. She found herself longing for a simpler life, a life that felt utterly unattainable amid the pressures of juggling responsibilities. Then came the moment that shook their newfound routine. Mia faced bullying at school, the kind that gnawed at her self-confidence. Each call from the principal felt like a blow to Sarah's heart. She watched Mia retreat into her shell, and a familiar tide of helplessness washed over her. Drawing lessons from those Egypt tales, Sarah urged Mia to confront challenges with courage and kindness. Yet one night, overwhelmed by fatigue, a mishap shattered her resolve. A small mistake spiraled into a bout of tears, and in that moment, Sarah believed she was failing her daughter. "Why can't I be enough?" she sobbed quietly, the weight of disappointment anchoring her down. Before she could spiral further, an unexpected warmth enveloped them the next morning. Their neighbors, sensing her struggle, rallied together, surprising them with breakfast. Laughter filled the air, creating a wave of love that rekindled Sarah's dwindling spirits. In that moment, she realized she didn't have to navigate her journey alone. Her community was the tapestry that wove together their resilience. Yet, just as she was ready to embrace this delicate balance, a phone call shattered the tranquility, revealing another challenge looming ahead. The question hung heavy in the air: would she find the strength to face whatever storm brewed on the horizon, or risk losing the precious bond they had forged? The phone rang again, slicing through the morning's calm like a hot knife through butter. Sarah's heart raced as she snatched it from the kitchen counter, her pulse quickening with the dread of unknown news. It was the principal. A knot twisted in her stomach. "Sarah, I wanted to discuss Mia." The voice on the other end trailed off, the weight of anticipation hanging heavy in the air. Sarah braced herself, her fingers gripping the edge of the counter, hoping for a kind word, a sign of improvement, anything other than what she feared. After a few minutes of conversation filled with careful words and professional concern, it was clear. The bullying had escalated. Mia had become withdrawn, distressed by the relentless taunts and exclusion from her classmates. Each call, each report tightened the grip of panic that clung to Sarah's chest. "Should I pull her from school?" she blurted out, the thought escaping before she could grasp its weight. She could feel herself teetering on the edge of desperation, needing to protect her little girl, to shield her from the pain that had managed to seep into their lives despite the joy they found in their evenings together. "We can't hide from this," the principal said gently. "Mia needs support, not just from us but from you. She needs to know she's not alone." Alone. The word echoed loudly in Sarah's mind. It gnawed at her, feeding her fears and doubts. Hadn't her own struggles taught her the importance of community? Yet how could she seek help from Mia when she felt so inadequate herself? With a shaky breath, she ended the call, staring out the window. Bright sunlight flooded the room, yet it felt like shadows loomed in the corners of her heart. She felt like an imposter in that radiant glow. Could she really be the mother Mia needed right now? "Mom, are you okay?" Mia appeared at the doorway, her wide eyes searching for reassurance. In that moment, Sarah's heart softened. She knelt to Mia's level, smoothing down her hair, letting the warmth of her daughter's presence seep into her bones. "Mia, I'm here for you," she said softly, her voice steadying. "Whatever you need, we'll face it together." But inside, uncertainty bubbled. Would her words be enough? Each day brought new challenges that felt insurmountable, and just as she had begun to gather strength from her community, a new worry began to surface. How could one broken heart heal another? That evening, as stories from the ancient book flowed like honey, Sarah found herself captivated by the tale of Anubis, the god of the afterlife. He was a protector, guiding lost souls through darkness. In that moment it struck her. Maybe they didn't need to battle this together alone. Perhaps it was time for them to reach out together, creating their own safe harbor amidst the storm. "I have an idea," Sarah said suddenly, excitement bubbling within her. "How about we invite some of your friends over for a storytelling night? We can share our own stories and create our own magic." Mia's eyes lit up, brightening like a sunbeam. "Can we tell them about Egyptian myths?" "Absolutely," Sarah laughed, feeling her spirits lift. "We will create our own adventures." But as they planned their gathering, a shadow of doubt lingered at the back of Sarah's mind. Would inviting others into their world help them heal, or would it expose Mia to more criticism? Could storytelling truly mend the cracks that formed under scrutiny? As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting their surroundings in golds and purples, the weight of uncertainty hung thick in the air. No matter the result, one question loomed larger than the rest. Were they truly ready to confront whatever awaited them when the doors opened, or would they shrink back into the shadows they had so diligently fought to leave behind? The days leading up to the storytelling night felt like a whirlwind of excitement and anxiety. Sarah busily arranged the living room, clearing out clutter and adding colorful throws to the sofa. Each item she adjusted was infused with a sense of hope, a small step toward creating a space where Mia could feel safe and cherished among friends. Mia flitted around, making her own contributions. She doodled pictures of Egyptian gods on construction paper, eagerly taping them to the walls. It was a charming chaos that brought lightness to Sarah's heavy heart. But deep down, the worry still gnawed at her. Would her daughter's friends treat her with kindness and laughter, or would they mirror the cruelty that had darkened her days at school? The day came, and Sarah moved through a haze of nervous energy. She set out snacks, popcorn, slices of fruit, and cookies adorned with sprinkles, swearing she could hear the pounding of her heart above the clinks of dishes. As the clock ticked closer to the start time, Mia bounced with anticipation, her earlier worries momentarily forgotten. "Do you think they'll love the stories?" Mia asked, her eyes glimmering with enthusiasm. "They're going to love it," Sarah assured her, though the uncertainty in her own voice betrayed her confidence. "You're amazing, and they'll see that." When the first knock echoed through the house, Sarah's breath hitched. Mia rushed towards the door, her small frame buzzing with excitement. Sarah quickly joined her, plastering on a brave smile to mask her anxiety. As the door opened, giggles spilled in, bringing with them the sweet smell of warm cookies and youthful innocence. Mia's friends, a merry group of 3, drifted in, their energy vibrant. Sarah felt a flash of relief mixed with joy. The laughter seemed to lighten the air, filling the room with an undeniable warmth. As they settled, exchanging stories and whispers, Sarah watched Mia closely, her heart thumping in her chest. Would she stand strong? Would she let these friendships bloom, or would fear snatch away her joy? After a few minutes, Sarah gestured for everyone to gather around. She sensed it was time to introduce the magic of their evening. "All right, everyone. We're going to dive into some amazing stories about gods and heroes," Sarah announced, her voice cheerful, overflowing with warmth. "Tonight, we create our own adventures through storytelling and imagination." As stories unfolded, Sarah marveled at Mia's spark reigniting with each tale told. They cycled through the myths, laughter mixing with gasps of awe as tales of bravery, transformation, and wonder poured out. Mia flourished, each character she embodied seemingly healing the fragments of her spirit. Yet, shadows danced on the outskirts of her joy. During lulls in conversation, a nagging worry tugged at Sarah. What if a comment arose that cut deep, or a comparison was made that sent Mia spiraling back into doubt? As the night waned, the kids gathered together for a final story, a powerful myth about Anubis, who guided souls to peace. Wrapped in stories, Sarah felt a glimmer of hope. Would this experience be a turning point, a beacon drawing Mia away from the darkness? Just then, a comment from one of Mia's friends pierces the air. You know, Mia, you should really stand up for yourself more. People won't bully you if you do. Laughter erupted, but the room grew still for a heartbeat, the weight of those words hanging over them like dark clouds. Mia's face tinged crimson, her smile faltering. Sarah's heart sank, the warmth rushing away as she searched for a way to mend what had shifted in an instant. Maybe we can talk a bit about what that looks like, Sarah interjected gently, her heart racing. Standing up doesn't have to mean fighting back. It's about knowing you're valuable, just the way you are. But as the conversation turned, an unexpected tension formed, drawing the kids into conflicting emotions, one that felt all too familiar for Sarah and Mia. When would Mia's voice truly find its strength? With a heavy heart and a flutter in her stomach, Sarah realized she had a new battle to fight, one that demanded understanding just as much as action. Would they be able to navigate the intricate paths of friendship and self-advocacy without losing the magic nightly rituals once held? Would Mia find her voice amidst the chaos of childhood? The question stayed with her like shadows, unresolved and looming. Mia's eyes darted toward her friends, gauging their expressions as she processed the weight of the words that had crashed into the joyful atmosphere. The room, once alive with laughter, felt charged with uncertainty, like a bud waiting to bloom but held back by cold fingers of doubt. Standing up for yourself isn't always easy, Sarah continued, trying to guide them back to a more supportive place. Sometimes it's just finding the courage to speak what's in your heart. She noticed Mia biting her lip, the inner conflict playing out visibly on her small face. Yeah, like how Anubis helped the lost souls find their way, a quieter girl named Clara spoke up, her voice a soft encouragement. He showed them that they mattered. Mia's eyes lit up slightly at the mention of the story. That was its support. They were all standing there, navigating through the labyrinth of their feelings together. Encouraged by Clara's support, Mia took a breath. I just wish I could be like some of the heroes, she said, her voice trembling but resolute. You know, like strong and fearless. Sarah felt a flutter of pride wash over her. You are strong. Even when you feel afraid, it's okay. You don't have to be like someone else to find your strength. One of Mia's friends, Jamie, leaned in. You should show what you can do with your artwork. Those drawings are super cool. The mention of her artwork seemed to spark something deep within Mia, lighting a small fire. She smiled wider now, her spirit weaving through the tenderness of the moment. I can draw a hero. Or make up my own stories where they have to stand up for others. That sounds awesome, Clara exclaimed, her excitement infectious. The others joined in, sparking a wave of inspired chatter. As the conversations flowed back into laughter, Mia began to feel the warmth of friendship wrapping around her like a security blanket. Sarah watched the scene unfold, her heart swelling with hope. Maybe the night wasn't a turning point for an easy road, but perhaps it could be a start, a place where Mia could begin to recognize her own worth amidst the laughter and love around her. The mood shifted back to storytelling, each child contributing their own twist to the tales of God's laughter pitched high, silencing any lingering doubts. They found themselves launching into a collaborative myth where the gods bonded with the humans, learning from their bravery and compassion. With every word shared, Sarah felt a gentle release of tension. Mia no longer stood isolated. She was part of a vibrant tapestry of friendship, threads intertwining into something beautiful. But as they spun their yarns of adventure, the earlier comments still flickered in the back of Sarah's mind. What if Mia struggled to find her voice again once the laughter faded? As if sensing her mother's worry, Mia glanced over, her eyes filled with determination. Next time I'll show them my new story. You'll see, she declared, the mention of a next time igniting something electric in Sarah. Mia's resolute tone tugged at Sarah's heart. Of course, we would have many more nights filled with stories yet to tell and tales yet to weave. But what unspoken fears still lingered? Just as they moved on to the next story, another knock resonated through the house, echoing like a new hope. Sarah exchanged a questioning glance with Mia. Who could be showing up at this hour? A gripping anticipation settled in the room. Was it another friend, perhaps bringing a new layer of connection? Or could it be someone who would unearth those quiet worries once again? With each moment that passed, the air thickened with questions, emotions bubbling just below the surface, waiting to erupt. Mia felt her heart race as the knock echoed again, louder this time. The giggles fell away, replaced by a shared sense of curiosity. She peered at the door, her grip tightening around the edge of the table. Everyone fell silent, looking at each other, unsure of what to expect. Mia, do you want me to open it? Sarah asked gently, her voice steady, trying to ground the tension that hung in the air. With a quick nod, Mia felt the warmth of her mother's reassurance radiating through her. Sarah stood and walked toward the door, and Mia's breath quickened. What if it was someone with news? Someone who wouldn't understand her love for stories? A fear entwined with excitement flickered in her chest. As the door creaked open, the light from the hallway spilled into the room, illuminating the faces of her friends in shadowed surprise. Standing there was Max, one of Mia's older friends who had recently started high school. He was grinning from ear to ear, a bright bag slung over his shoulder. I thought I'd drop by. Heard you guys were having a story night. Mia released a breath she didn't know she was holding. Relief washed over her as laughter erupted from her friends. Max's presence felt like a beacon, catching the light of their cozy gathering. Cool. You'll love what we've been creating, Jamie exclaimed, gesturing him inside. Max stepped in, the atmosphere around him sparkling with his contagious enthusiasm. I brought something. He unzipped the bag, revealing a small, handmade book. It's packed with my own stories. I figured I'd share some with you. As Max flipped through the pages, each adorned with vivid drawings and colorful text, the room pressed in around him, their worries fading into the background. Mia felt a jolt of inspiration surge through her. Here was someone she admired, bringing his creations to share. It reminded her of her own artistic dreams, of the heroes she wanted to draw and the stories she wanted to tell. I want to share my stories too, Mia exclaimed, her voice ringing with newfound excitement. The energy in her chest bubbled over, transforming any lingering anxiety into bold courage. Oh, definitely. Max beamed at her, his approval like a gentle push forward. You should totally show us your drawings. I bet they're amazing. In that moment, Mia felt the warmth of encouragement wrapping around her, a cloak made of voices promising support. Okay, I will. I have my sketchbook in my room. She sprang up, bounding toward the hallway, her heart pounding in a rhythm of hope. The laughter and chatter picked up once again, but as she fetched her sketchbook, a little piece of doubt nudged at the edge of her mind. Would they really like what she had imagined? What if it wasn't good enough? She shook her head. No! She blocked out the thought, reminding herself of the connections they had formed during the night. With every step back to the living room, she reassured herself. She had friends. She had stories. They would want to hear hers, wouldn't they? When she returned, her sketchbook cradled in her arms, everyone's eyes turned toward her with eager anticipation. Taking a deep breath, she flipped it open, revealing her vibrant heroes bursting with life. Each page was a window into her imagination. Silence draped the room, and Mia's heart raced. Each glance exchanged among her friends felt timeless, as if in that moment on the edge of uncertainty, something beautiful was waiting to be born. Then Clara whispered, "They're incredible." Mia's cheeks flushed with warmth, the crackling spark of hope igniting stronger than before. But just as Mia started to share the first story behind one of her drawings, another knock echoed through the house, jolting everyone's attention once more. Uneasy curiosity gripped her heart again. Who could it be now? Would they be a welcome part of the story? Or would this new arrival challenge the courage she'd just found in her friends? Her mind swirled as she stood frozen at the threshold of a new possibility, waiting for the next chapter to unfold. Mia's breath caught as she balanced between excitement and unease. The knock felt different this time, more urgent, almost like a heartbeat in the stillness of the room. Her friends' faces reflected the same mix of anticipation, encouragement, and a hint of concern. "Should I?" Sarah trailed off, glancing back at Mia for permission. Mia hesitated. All at once, fear flooded back. What if this new arrival disrupted the story night? What if they didn't understand? But she couldn't let fear rule her now. She had just found her courage. "Yes, please," she finally said, her voice steadier than she felt. As Sarah opened the door, a gust of cool air swirled in, shifting the cozy warmth of their gathering. Standing there, however, was not just any familiar face. It was Ethan, Mia's childhood friend. Tall and confident, he held a skateboard under his arm and wore a mischievous grin that suggested he was ready for adventure. "Hey! Sorry to crash your story night, but I thought I'd stop by and grab Mia for a second." His enthusiasm was contagious as he darted into the room, ignoring the shared hesitation among the others. "Ethan! Now?" Mia blinked in disbelief. A mix of disbelief and excitement cascaded through her. Any plan she had formed within that cocoon of creativity now felt shaky, as if the ground beneath her shifted unexpectedly. "Simon! You've been holed up here too long. You have to see this." He gestured wildly, eyes sparkling with that familiar thrill that had drawn them together in their younger days. "It's epic!" Mia's heart twisted, torn between two worlds. On one hand, the inviting world of her drawings and storytelling shone brightly, welcoming her. Yet Ethan held a treasure trove of experiences that called to her like an old friend. The thought of venturing outside, breathing the night air, made her pulse race with both anxiety and exhilaration. Before she could think it through, Sarah stepped in, her voice calming but firm. "Mia was just about to share her stories, Ethan. This is important to her." Ethan turned to Mia, his expression shifting from playful to serious. "You should share. I'd love to hear what you've created. But we can go just down the block. You'll love this." Her pulse raced, caught in a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. "But my stories. I wanted to share. They'll still be there when you come back," Max interjected, the supportive friend she needed in this moment. "Just go. We'll wait for you." Mia glanced between her friends, feeling pulled in all directions. She wanted them to hear her stories, to see the heroes she had crafted. Yet the tempting freedom of the outside world stirred a deep longing within her. Was it possible to have both? Finally, with a hesitant nod, she took a step toward Ethan. "Okay, just for a minute. I'll be right back." The small defeat nagged at her, but a flicker of excitement ignited as she envisioned the light of the street lamps and the chatter in the night air. As she followed Ethan outside, Mia felt the chill nip at her arms, reminding her of the warmth she was leaving behind. The door closed softly behind her, and for a moment, she turned to see the silhouettes of her friends gathered in the glow of a lamp, each of them ready for the stories she had just begun to reveal. Still, amidst the excitement of escaping into the night, a lingering question floated in the air. Would her stories still hold the same magic after stepping out of the sanctuary of their warm room? With the echoes of stories waiting to be told behind her, she stepped forward into the unknown, her heart a mix of hope and apprehension what awaited her outside in the world she had left behind for now. The vibrant street stood alive with possibilities, bathing Mia in neon lights and the hum of late-night chatter. Ethan led the way, skateboard rolling smoothly beneath his feet, laughter spilling from their lips like bubbles of sparkling soda. Mia trailed behind, excitement battling with that persistent whisper of doubt that told her she had left something important behind. "Check this out!" Ethan exclaimed, pointing to a row of kids gathered around a street performer. The man was juggling colorful balls that danced in the evening air, their arcs punctuated by gasps and cheers from the crowd. For a moment, Mia forgot her worries, caught up in the energy that twisted and turned like a roller coaster through her chest. "I used to dream of doing that," she said, the nostalgia igniting memories of their carefree childhoods filled with wild imaginations. Still could if you wanted to. Ethan shot back, beaming. You've got the spirit for it. His confidence lifted her spirit at that moment. They moved closer to the performer, and Mia found herself smiling uncontrollably, her heart thumping in time with the rhythmic claps of the onlookers. Maybe this was exactly what she needed, an infusion of life to jumpstart her passion again. Yet, as she watched the act unfold, a familiar weight settled into her chest. It was the stories, the characters she had sculpted from thin air. She couldn't shake the thought that they were languishing in silence without her. Ethan, she started, but he interrupted her with an infectious laugh. Wait. One more. You've got to see this, Mia. Trust me. He gestured toward a nearby alley where music pulsed like a beating heart, promising another adventure brimming with thrill. She hesitated. Would stepping into the night mean stepping away from her own truth? Her friends were waiting for her to share her stories. Those stories where dreams collided with reality were her voice. In her mind, the images of her drawings hovered, their edges softened by the warmth of the gathering they had left behind. I really should get back, Mia tried again, but Ethan pulled her along. The music grew louder, washing over them like a wave. Just a minute, Mia. I promise it'll be worth it. And she found herself smiling again, caught up in his enthusiasm. Wasn't he that part of being alive, too? To embrace the experience in front of her? She could see the thrill in his eyes, that familiar light of friendship stirring within her. They reached the mouth of the alley, and as they stepped into the club-like atmosphere, Mia was swept away by the energy. The thrumming beat reverberated in her chest, a pulse that felt almost like the heartbeat of the night itself. Colors whirled, laughter danced, and every detail sparkled in the low light. But as she lost herself in the crowd, a flicker deep inside her grew louder. What if there was something more she was meant to do? The stories inside her clamored for attention, caught between the comfort of familiarity and the exhilarating unknown. Just then, her phone buzzed in her pocket. She fished it out, ready for a message from Sarah, Max, or one of her friends, a reminder that the stories still waited. But instead of hearing from them, a photo notification popped up. It was a picture of her friends, gathered around her sketchbook, flipping through her artwork, their smiles wide. Her breath hitched. They were waiting, eager for her voice. As Mia stood there, the realization hit her hard. She could not abandon her stories, nor the bond she had with those who cherished her creations. Would balancing her adventures with her passions be possible? With a deep breath, she turned back to Ethan, ready to speak, realizing now the true adventure was not just outside but also within. Ethan, I want to share something that matters. As she began to elaborate, the crowd around them pulsed with life and energy, but Mia knew she was on the brink of forging her own path, one that intertwined her tales with new experiences. Would she find a way to weave both together? Mia took a moment to gather her thoughts, the heartbeat of the music surrounding them shifting to a rhythm all her own. The vibrancy of the club buzzed in her veins, and amidst the joyful chaos, she felt a surge of determination spreading through her. This was her chance, a whisper of a dream hanging right in front of her. Ethan, she said, her voice steady now, I've been working on some stories. They're close to my heart, and I need to share them. But it means more than just telling you. I want to create something together. Ethan raised an eyebrow, the surprise flashing across his face. Create something? Like what? You mean a project? He looked genuinely intrigued, a spark igniting in his eyes. Yeah. A comic book or something, she said, the idea bubbling to the surface, clearer now. You've always been into art and design, right? We could blend my stories with your style, it could be amazing. His smile spread wider. Mia, that sounds epic. Why didn't you say so before? I'd love to help. His enthusiasm wrapped around her like a warm hug, pushing away the nagging doubts that had lingered. Then a sudden realization hit her. This was the answer she had been searching for. Her friends had always supported her art. Creating with Ethan might just give her the confidence to reclaim not only her stories, but also the joy of expression she lost. Before she could get lost in the whirlwind of her own thoughts, Ethan grabbed her hand, pulling her further into the crowd. Come on! Let's find inspiration. We can sketch out ideas here, maybe even flip through some art books. Suddenly, the weight of her fears began to lift, opening space for excitement. The vibrant world around her transformed into a canvas. They found a corner table surrounded by chatter and laughter, a refuge where ideas could flow freely. A kind bartender noticed them and offered some colorful mocktails, the sparkles reflecting the night's energy. Mia and Ethan leaned over the small table, her sketchbook spread wide open between them. She looked at Ethan, his face illuminated by the soft glow of the club lights, and explained her characters, the worlds waiting to be explored. With every word, her heart raced. This one she is a warrior with a past, fighting for her home, her family. And this is an artist who can draw the future. Excitement thrummed through her as sketches began to take shape under her pencil. Wow, the warrior is fierce. You really captured her. Ethan's energy made Mia's heart flutter. As ideas flowed, their conversation drifted deeper, exploring themes of friendship, courage, and the struggle to find one's voice, a reflection of their own journey, intertwining their lives. But as the laughter and cheers swirled around them, Mia's thoughts wandered back to her friends Sarah and Max, the ones who believed in her abilities, the ones who inspired her to dream. Ethan, she said suddenly, hesitating. What happens if we don't finish this project? What if we fall apart like so many kids do after high school? He paused, glancing around the room as if gauging the weight of her concern. Mia, that's why we'll keep our bond strong. No matter how busy things get, this project will remind us. We can be a team, just like we were as kids. Mia's heart swelled. The promise of connection shone brightly. The music danced into a quieter tune, coaxing them to focus. But before she could arrange her thoughts into an outline of the adventure they were architecting, a commotion at the bar caught her eye. A figure stood out in the crowd, familiar, intense, and unexpected. Wait, is that Sarah? She whispered, eyes widening as her mind raced with possibilities. Would their reunion spark something deeper? Would her friendships ignite a flame of creativity and passion, or would it spiral into a tangled mess of complications that could consume her newfound excitement? The questions hung heavy in the air, waiting for their answers. Mia's heart pounded as she caught a glimpse of Sarah, the friend who had always been an anchor in her life. The flickering lights of the bar illuminated Sarah's face, and for a moment they locked eyes. Time seemed to freeze, engulfing Mia in a wave of nostalgia and excitement. She hadn't seen Sarah since graduation, and the thought of reconnecting sent a flurry of emotions through her. Mia? Ethan's voice drew her back to the present, laced with curiosity. Is everything okay? Yeah, I need to talk to her, Mia replied, her voice tense with anticipation. She had so many questions, the what-ifs and could-have-beens stacking up like blocks in her mind. Releasing Ethan's hand, she took a deep breath and pushed her way through the throng of people, each step drawing her closer to her past. Sarah stood at the bar, her laughter ringing like music amid the cacophony. She wore a vibrant red dress that made her glow, exuding confidence and warmth. As Mia approached, Sarah turned, and her eyes widened with shock and joy. Mia! Sarah exclaimed, her arms open wide, and just like that, they were wrapped in each other's embrace. The hug felt like home, a mix of comfort and love that penetrated the noisy atmosphere. I can't believe this, Mia said, stepping back to look at Sarah's face, illuminated by neon lights. You look amazing. What are you doing here? I just moved back to the city. I wanted to celebrate seeing everyone again. Sarah's smile radiated genuine happiness. So, what about you? Still writing those stories? Mia hesitated, the words tumbling in her mind. Actually, yes. I'm working on some new ones. I'm collaborating with Ethan. Ethan! Sarah turned with an ease that made Mia smile as she called over. Come here. You have to join us. Ethan exchanged glances with Mia, his excitement blooming as he made his way over. The trio formed a circle, the weight of their shared past infusing the air with a sense of belonging. The sound of laughter melted into the music, creating a soundtrack of their reunion. So, what is the project? Sarah asked, her eyes sparkling with intrigue. Mia detailed everything: the warrior, the artist, the adventure that unfolded in her sketches. The more she spoke, the easier it became, as the swell of enthusiasm mirrored the vibrant energy surrounding them. She saw Sarah's eyes light up, that familiar glimmer of support reflecting back as they shared ideas. Their conversations flowed seamlessly. They discussed character arcs, plot twists, and the very essence of friendship woven into Mia's stories. As joy bubbled out of them, the world around became a mere backdrop, heavy with the sweet weight of reconnection. But Mia, Sarah said softly after a while, her expression more serious, you know it's okay to be vulnerable, right? Your stories can be your truth. Mia's heart suddenly felt like it was teetering on the edge. But what if it exposes everything? Exactly, Sarah replied gently, but that's what makes it beautiful. Real art comes from our fears and struggles. The conversation delved into deeper territory, touching upon dreams, regrets, and the undeniable connection they all shared. The laughter began to soften, replaced by moments of silence filled with understanding that took their friendship to a new level. Then, without warning, Sarah's expression shifted. A flicker of something unspoken danced across her face, her gaze turning away for a moment. Mia felt the change instinctively, a tension threading through the air. What is it? She asked, sensing her friend's hesitation. Nothing, Sarah responded, but her tone contradicted her words. The evening's warmth dimmed just a fraction, leaving Mia feeling a shift that hinted at deeper secrets. Despite the exhilaration of their reunion, something felt amiss, and Mia couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't finished unraveling the complexity of their stories or each other. As her mind whirled, drawn to uncover whatever lay beneath the surface, she whispered to herself, "What are we really afraid of?" With that, the celebration morphed into something more profound, a journey of exploration awaiting them. Would they uncover the truth? Would their friendship evolve, or would unanswered questions linger just beyond reach? The night was still young, and the possibilities were as vast as the skies above. As the night deepened, the vibrant energy of the club wrapped them in a cocoon of laughter and shared memories. Mia felt renewed. The weight of her storytelling hadn't just been lifted, it had transformed into a tapestry woven with her friends' encouragement. But as they gathered, the air shifted, touching on the uncharted territory of vulnerability. "Sarah, what do you mean by being vulnerable?" Mia asked, her voice steady yet curious. The question hung between them, charged with anticipation. Sarah looked at Mia, unguarded. "It's about sharing not just the highs but the lows too. Opening up means letting people see the messy parts. It's like being the hero who has to face challenges, you know?" Mia nodded slowly, absorbing the truth resonating through her friend's words. She had spent so long hiding her insecurities, always portraying herself as strong. But wasn't true strength accepting help? Max, who had been listening intently, chimed in, "Together, we can face anything, right? Like those mythical heroes. Every story has its trials." "Exactly," Sarah said, her passion igniting the air again. "Just like Anubis, we guide one another through the darkness. We can't shine without the shadows reminding us how strong we really are." Mia's heart swelled with warmth, realizing that they were drafting the heroic saga of their own lives, not just through fictional characters but through their very souls. Her heart ached with the realization that storytelling wasn't merely an escape. It was a bridge that connected them to deeper understanding. Suddenly, as if summoned by a whisper, a familiar face appeared in the crowd. Ethan, his skateboard tucked under his arm, walked toward them with a hint of apprehension. "Hey, I couldn't help but overhear. How's the project coming?" Mia glanced at Sarah and Max, their smiles encouraging. She took a deep breath. "We're creating something special, Ethan. A comic book with heroes and real emotions. And it's not just about being brave, it's about sharing everything." Ethan's eyes twinkled with understanding. "That's awesome, Mia. Whatever it takes, I'm in." And just like that, sparks of camaraderie flared around them. As they discussed sketches, power dynamics in their characters, and the importance of vulnerability, Mia felt her fears dissipate as laughter and creation took their place. Their friendship blossomed in the glow of shared creativity and courage. In that moment, a realization struck Mia like a lightning bolt. What if we do a live storytelling performance? She exclaimed, her words spilling from her lips like the punch of courage she never knew she had. Like a mini-show? Max chirped, his eyes lighting up. That'd be incredible. We could invite the community, get a real audience. Yes. Sarah bounced in excitement. It can be our tribute to these characters and the real stories we all carry. Mia felt electricity surge through her veins, excitement swirling with hope. What had once felt daunting was now bold, and she could finally envision her stories transforming into something collective and experience shared among friends, a celebration of their journey. But the moment was tinged with nerves as Mia realized the depth of what they were planning. I want to invite everyone to share their stories too, she said softly. It could help others heal like it's doing for us. Definitely. Ethan's infectious enthusiasm spread through the group. Everyone has something to share. We've all faced our own challenges. It'd be powerful. As discussions swirled and ideas collided, the shared project spiraled into a movement, one fueled by hope, acceptance, and communal strength. They spent the rest of the night sketching, brainstorming, and outlining their performance. Each laugh built on the other, weaving their voices into a chorus of resilience. As the evening wore on, Mia would find herself often glancing at Sarah, catching her friend's reassuring gaze. There was something cathartic about this connection. A world grew richer not just with stories but with understanding, support, and love. They were building much more than a comic, they were creating a community. Finally, as the club music faded and the chatter quieted down, Mia stood at the center of her friends, her heart pounding. A quiet resoluteness gripped her as she gazed around the circle illuminated by neon lights. This was her family, born from shared tales and blossoming dreams. Together, we will share our fears, our hopes, our laughter. The stories that could guide others, just like they guided us, Mia declared, her voice strong and clear. The applause from her friends echoed like the approval of a grand audience. And with that, the night concluded with a promise to uplift, to shine, and to never let go of the stories that brought them here. As they scattered, the warmth of the evening lingered in Mia's heart. A vibrant light now fueled her creativity, reminding her that no matter the challenges ahead, they were in this together, ready to face the world with art, stories, and unwavering friendship. And just like in those ancient Egyptian tales, where heroes rose from the dust, Mia felt a new strength blossoming within her, a hero's journey, ready to unfold. Now, this is the moment you've been waiting for. If you found inspiration in Mia's journey, you need to subscribe now to keep the magic of storytelling alive. Don't wait not even one more second. Leave a like to feed the algorithm and help us reach more hearts. Comment below your feelings and reactions about this unforgettable ending, and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to hear this transformational tale. Show your support and let us spread this incredible journey together.